Now we are going to solve another question of capital budgeting. Let's read the question at first. Hardware Limited is considering a new project requiring an initial investment of rupees 40,000. That is the initial investment for the project. Forecasted profit after tax of the same is as follows. Again, what phase of income statement is provided to us? It is mentioned here profit after tax. Profit after tax is basically represented as PAT. That means here all such incomes are provided to us PAT. In fact, in the question also it is mentioned specifically PAT. Now 5 years data are available to us, which clearly understandable that the project is last for 5 years. It will run for 5 years, and PAT for each and every years are provided also. For first year it is 40,000, for second year it is 10,000, for third year it is 22,000, for fourth year it is 11,000, for fifth year it is 10,000. This is the return of the project, this is the PAT of the project which are available to us. Considering interest rate of 12%. Interest rate is basically, since you know I have already been discussed, that is not other than PV factor. Right now they consider that the discounting factor, the market rate of discounting factor is 12%. Determine NPV of the project, that means we are going to prepare NPV. If the net working capital requirement for the same is 20,000 and scrap value of the project is 6,000, it should be net working capital. This is the new logic probably. We got new line here, net working capital. Requirement is there 20,000. Sometimes what happened in case of few projects, it's not only the initial investment required. Apart from that 40,000, sometimes you need to invest few portion for regular activities, which is considered as net working capital. This investment is also there. That is how much? 20,000. That means there are two kinds of investment. One is initial investment. Apart from initial investment, there is another investment also for the net working capital requirement, that is 20,000. And scrap value of the project is also available 6,000. Now the question is, what does it mean? What means of scrap value? Scrap value means sometimes whatever plant, property or equipment, whatever on which we invest our amount, at the end of the project, whatever value remain, we can dispose of that and we can achieve, we can few portion amount, that is known as scrap value. It is basically disposable value. Whatever substance remain after using that particular machineries, plant or whatever it may be, that substance can be sellable, okay, at the end of the project. And what value we can manage to achieve, that value by dispose of that plant, that usable property, plant or whatever it may be or equipment, that value is known as what? Scrap value. There is a possibility of getting back 6,000 rupees at the end of the project also. Now the logic of these two, first of all net working capital and another one is scrap value. If you look at that, whatever initial investment you have made for the project, say initial investment, the amount is available 40,000. That is okay. That we have to invest as usual manner. Apart from this, we have to invest working capital for the same project, and the amount of working capital is how much? 20,000. The logic of working capital is just like this. Like whatever amount we are going to invest initially, at the end of the project, if nothing is mentioned, we may assume that we can get back the same amount at the end of the project. Working capital is not basically directly involved in the project. Working capital is considered that to run the project, sometimes we need certain amount and that amount is working or rotable amount, and at the end of the project we can easily get back the same amount if nothing is mentioned. And scrap value is that what? At the end of the project we can manage to get 6,000 rupees as dispose of. I must mention that fifth year, at the end of fifth year, the ultimate return of the project is 10,000, that is provided to us. But don't forget, apart from that 10,000, there is a possibility of getting back that working capital, and at the same of scrap value of 6,000. That means at the end of the year, the project returned back to us 10,000, and at the same time you can get back the initial investment of working capital, that is how much? 20,000, the amount which initially invest for the purpose of working capital. Now, apart from this, that 6,000 rupees by dispose of the plant or whatever we are investing, on which we are going to invest that amount, we can dispose of that, and there is a possibilities of getting back that 6,000 rupees also. Let's calculate the same questions. Our target is to get the NPV. The formula is total PV of CFAT minus initial investment. It is provided to us, and we have to calculate total PV of CFAT. Now let's start the question. Calculation of NPV, net present value, year, and PAT, profit after tax, which is available to us. Here 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 consecutive years provided to us, and corresponding PAT is also provided. At first year it is 4,000, at second year it is 10,000, at third year it is 22,000, at fourth year it is 11,000, at fifth year it is 10,000. These figures are provided to us. Year and PAT is provided to us, and we are going to we are going to add depreciation into PAT, and finally we can reach CFAT at first. Now the next column we can plot here depreciation column. Now, to calculate depreciations, what methodology we use earlier, we have to follow workings note. Depreciation per annum. Earlier we used that formula, cost divided by lifetime of the project. But if you look at the question here, apart from cost, one particular information is available regarding scrap value. That is how much? 6,000. As I mentioned earlier, scrap value basically represents such value that is at the end of the project. When the project will over, that time whatever substance we got regarding the plant, property, whatever it may be, we can dispose of that, and there is a possibilities of getting back certain amount. Such value is known as scrap value. Now if you look at the question, there is a scrap value of how much? 6,000 rupees. Now whenever you got scrap value is mentioned, in that case, from the cost, we need to deduct the scrap value also. Now if scrap value is mentioned in the given question, in that case, how we calculate depreciation? In that case, we calculate depreciation, that is cost minus scrap value divided by lifetime. Now one by one, just plot such figure. Cost, what is the amount of cost? It is mentioned earlier, the initial investment, that is how much? 40,000. Remember one thing, cost means what? Cost means the initial investment only. And scrap value, what is the amount of scrap value? 6,000. Then 40,000 minus 6,000 divided by lifetime. What is the lifetime of the project? That is 5 years divided by 5. Now you are getting a total figure of 40,000 minus 6,000 divided by 5, 6,800. Now your annual depreciation is how much? Your annual depreciation is 6,800 rupees. Just plot the depreciation year after year, 6,800. In case of each and every year, we plot here 6,800. Now, after getting the depreciation, actually, why you plot the column of depreciation? As simple as that. We plot the column of depreciation to calculate what? To get that CFAT. PAT plus depreciation, we get that CFAT. Now, we can give remark like this is column A, column B, column C. In column D, we are going to calculate now what? We are going to calculate now CFAT. Cash flow after tax. How you can calculate that CFAT? If you look in row wise, in that case column D is basically represent the sum of B plus C. Let's calculate CFAT one after one. 4,000 plus 6,800, it will be 10,800. 10,000 plus 6,800, it will be 16,800. 22,000 plus 6,800, it is 28,800. 11,000 plus 6,800, it is 17,800. 10,000 plus 6,800, it will be 16,800. That CFAT. Now again look at the formula. We should target total PV of CFAT. CFAT we count already. Now we have to input here PV column, present value column. Discounting factor also. PV factor. PV factor. It is mentioned in this question, and the rate is mentioned. What percentage of PV factor? 12%. Okay, right here at the rate of 12%. That also I mentioned here. Don't forget to plot here, like this is our column E. In column factor one after one, PV factor which is already available in the given question. At first hand it is 0.892. It should be 0.892. At second year it is 0.797. At second year 0.797. Third year 0.711. This is 0.711. Fourth year 0.635. 0.635. And fifth year is 0.576. I can plot here 0.576. Since you know, once we multiply that CFAT with PV factor, we can get finally PV or present value of CFAT, present value of cash flow after tax. Such column is also you can consider as your if column. Okay. Now before calculating that PV of CFAT, I must mention something. First, just consider the total CFAT at the end of fifth year. According to the normal flow of business, if we consider our return is 16,800, it is okay, well and good. But the concept is, it is 16,800, it is understandable, but don't forget the concept of scrap value and as well as the concept of working capital. As I said earlier, working capital is achieved at the end of the year full. Since nothing is mentioned regarding working capital further in given question, that means that 20,000 can be achievable at the end of the year. Similarly, whatever substance remain with us regarding that project, either it is property or plant, whatever it may be, we can dispose of that, and there is another 6,000 rupees which can be achieved at the end of the project as a value of scrap. Now that 16,800 is not suppose our actual return from the project at the end of fifth year. We can calculate the return of the project at the end of fifth year. You can write here also CFAT at the end of fifth year. CFAT at the end of fifth year. How to get that CFAT at the end of fifth year? It is basically the total value of 16,800 which you calculate already. How to get that 16,800, or rather for clear specifications you can write also it is 10,000 plus 6,800, 10,000 as your PAT, 6,800 your depreciation, plus 6,000 as your scrap value, plus 20,000 which you can return back at the end of the year. Okay. Now at the end of the year, in other cases we just consider our PAT and depreciations. But at the end of fifth year, there is an opportunity to get back 6,000 rupees as a scrap, and similarly 20,000 rupees as a part of working capital. Now you sum up and try to get that what exact figure it will come. It is 16,800 plus 6,000 plus 20,000. Getting 42,800 as a total. 42,800. Let me plot here rupees 42,800, and instead of 16,800, here we should plot 42,800 with the PV factor of 12%, and we can get PV of CFAT of each and every year. 10,800 multiplying by 0.892, you are getting 9634. It is 9634. Next one is 16,800 multiplying by 0.797. You got 13390. Next one is 28,800, which is multiplying by 0.711. You are getting 20477. 20477. Next one is 17,800 multiplying by 0.635. You are getting a total of 11303, and finally 42,800 which is multiplied by 0.576. You are getting 24653. 24653 is to make the total of PV of CFT column. I mean the total return of PV of CFT column 9634 13390 20477 11303 and 24653. So I get a total of 79457. It is 79457. 79457. Has to calculate the NPV of the project, net present value of the project. Look at the formula. Total present value of CFT, which is calculated 79457 minus initial investment. Now regarding initial investment also you have to think of how to get that initial investment here. The initial investment was 40,000, not really, because apart from that 40,000 you invested 20,000 also. Now if you look at the question, your initial investment you can calculate such a manner: 40,000 plus 20,000 as working capital. 20,000 you consider for the project as in working capital, 40,000 along with 20,000. Since you consider 20,000 at the end of the year as a return, then when you consider for total investment or initial investment in these regards, you have to consider that 20,000. Then 79,457, 79,457 minus 60,000. You are getting NPV of the project is rupees 19,457. 19,457. That means it's a positive NPV. If any other consideration is not provided in the question, in that case we can say that we can accept the project. Thank you.